Oh my god, this is crazy!
Middleofnowheregaming.com. Everybody go to that website. Say we sent you.
Yeah, get that traffic up.
I bet they're really good at Minecraft. They're probably the antithesis of us.
This is the Middle of Nowhere Gaming Podcast.
Welcome into episode 80 of the Middle of Nowhere Gaming Podcast. I'm your host, Courtney Osborne, and today I am joined by the one and only...
Lou Hip Hop Hands Contaldi!
That's what I got. That's my new
Getting
one.
closer. Getting closer.
I was going to get there.
That was better than last week.
Damn it.
Okay, and then the Destiny demigod, Miles.
I don't have any more quotes. I'm done quoting movies.
What?
Oh, you got to find a new thing, though.
Didn't I get one right?
Something.
Finally?
You did get one right.
Yeah.
No, I used that one already. Well, nobody's perfect. There you
go. Toy Story.
My
Some
last
like it hot.
ex-girlfriend.
What? Oh.
That was funny.
That was funny. Okay, so first up, we've been running a giveaway for the last week. Well, more or less the last week, for 2 copies of Shovel Knight. And we were supposed to start this podcast about 45 minutes ago, and halfway through the podcast, we were going to reveal the winners at exactly 3:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, and it is actually now 3:30. So we're not going to reveal it in the middle of the podcast, but instead we're going to reveal the winners right up front. So if you tuned in early and you happen to be one of the winners, then yay, you get to hear it now instead of waiting. We're not going to delay. But if you are not listening to it live, you'll hear it on the MP3 or YouTube or anywhere else you hear it. We will email the winners here after the podcast in a little bit, because we'll have to get you out the code for what is going to be a $20 PSN gift card. And so while the game is $15, we're giving you $5 extra just because that's the only way we can give you this freaking game, because we cannot
deal with it.
You can't
Enjoy the $5 extra.
You can't buy this game digitally on Amazon, so we just have to buy the code and send you the code, so you'll get $20 from us. Yay! So anyways, without further ado, the first winner for a Shovel Knight giveaway is Michael Lee. And that is Michael L.I. That's how his last name is spelled. It's ML_204 on Twitter. So if you want to go and send all your hate mail to him for winning the first copy, that's who he is. Be like, you son of a bitch, you won! Okay, he won for subscribing to our MONG Network YouTube channel. So see, there are several ways that you can get into all of these giveaways, and if you take them all, you have better chances of winning. Last time one of our winners was because of a drawing. Actually, we've had 2 winners like that, I think.
Unfortunately, this time. No one won via drawing.
Yeah. But we did have some good drawings.
We have some fantastic drawings. Some ones that actually made me stop and go, wow, people put a lot more work into this than I do.
And then our second winner. This one actually really made me laugh. Our second winner is actually our number 1 fan, Josh.
Oh.
Yeah, that surprised the hell out of me. So Josh, I don't know, is he in the chat right now? He said he was going to try to tune in at the time we started. Doesn't look like he made it in time, so he'll find out in a little bit. But yeah, so Josh, or Got It Made 43 on basically anywhere on Twitter, he is our winner, and he won that one by following us on Twitch. That was his entry that won. And these are these drawings or these giveaways, they're all randomized. We have absolutely no say in who gets picked on the randomization. We can disqualify people if they don't do what they said they did.
And we have disqualified many people.
We have disqualified a lot of people in the past for saying that they followed us on YouTube or Twitter or wherever, and they actually didn't. However, these were the first 2 drawn this time, and they both actually did what they said they did. So that was amazing. It's the first giveaway we've ever had without having to have 1 disqualification. So thank you guys. Thank you guys for actually doing what you said you did.
But speaking about giveaways, of course.
Yes, but speaking about giveaways...
Don't sign off. You didn't win this one. We have next ones right now.
There are more giveaways. We, as of, let's see, in about 2 hours or so, whenever we get done with the podcast, there will be another giveaway started. And this giveaway will be for your chance of winning the choice of either Broken Age, the full edition on PS4 or PC, or State of Decay Year 1 Survival Edition on Xbox One. So if you're an Xbox One junkie and you want that, you could win that. Or if you're a PS4 or PC person and you want Broken Age, you could choose that. So we'll one winner next week, and you get your choice of one of those. So if you want that, be sure and check back to the website. Like I said, in about 2 hours or so, about 5:30 or 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, we will have that giveaway going live. So then you'll have that. And then the following week, we have another giveaway. And that giveaway is going to be for Wolfenstein: The Old Blood, which is the prequel for Wolfenstein: The New Order that came out
standalone too, right?
Last May. Yeah, I believe it is.
Yep.
That will be going up next Tuesday after this one is done. And then 2 weeks following that, we'll be giving away a copy of The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. And that giveaway will be going on for 2 full weeks. So instead of 1 week like these ones will be, that will be 2 weeks that you can enter in as many times as you want. So be on the lookout for all of those. Every Tuesday, these giveaways are going to go live, and they're going to end the following Tuesday. So each week, come back and check in and tune in or enter into those giveaways.
So much excitement.
Yeah, a lot of excitement. I'm so excited that Shovel Knight came out today, and I was super excited that we get to give away 2 copies of it. Like, I want everybody to play it, even though I've never played it. I just know that everybody who has played it loves it.
I love it.
Yeah, I was saying,
I
Luke
reviewed
can
it.
explain.
Yeah, it's an awesome game. Play Shovel Knight. Play it.
Play
now.
Shovel. Have you seen the trophy list?
No, but I have to imagine they already had a trophy list. That's why I didn't even bother looking. Is even for the Nintendo Wii U and the Nintendo 3DS, they had their own achievement list, which is very rare. And of course, it meant nothing in terms of Nintendo. It's just something you could do on the side. However, I assume that these are also the same things, are they not?
Well, I don't know what the challenges are in the game, or the achievement list is in the game. I know what the trophy list looks like, and it is brutal. Like, it looks.
Wait, let me look it up.
It looks really brutal. It's in our general chat. But yeah, so that's It looks like it's going to be one of those really, really hard ones. It's beat the game without dying, beat the game without falling in a pit, beat the game without doing this, beat these bosses, beat these things, do this fast. It's just like, damn.
I think I'm not 100% sure. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but it looks like just what has been around. And it's still incredibly difficult. Still.
What do you mean?
I can imagine.
It looks like the challenges that were already present in the Nintendo.
Oh, okay.
Maybe.
And yeah, it does have a platinum, pointed out by our mod, Octosnake. That is one thing that is really cool about that, or one thing I was surprised about, really. I mean, it's weird. Have we seen a lot of indie games with platinums? Most of them just have like a gold, don't they?
Yeah, I think so. I'm trying to remember if Bastion had a platinum.
Does it?
I don't know. I mean, Resogun has a platinum.
Resogun does have a platinum. But I think if Resogun didn't have a platinum, that would have been a really shitty move for that to be a launch game without a platinum. I guess, what's the other one?
Dead Nation?
No, the one about the shadows. Contrast. That didn't have a platinum.
No.
So that was a launch day game, I believe.
I think it might have to do with the clout the game has. I mean, no one's going to deny Shovel Knight is something that's on every indie fan's list that has a PlayStation, doesn't have any other way of playing it. So they're eventually going to get 1 million purchases from PlayStation fans. They might have just walked in and said, "We want a platinum." And I'm guessing Sony was like, "Yeah, sure, whatever. You're coming here. You're making us the money."
Yeah, I wonder if they get a choice. Do they get to choose if they want to put a platinum in their game?
No, it's very very rigid. I hear the
Aston
trophy
does have a platinum,
rules.
apparently. Axiom Verge has a platinum. Yeah, but see, does all of the Spring Fever games do all of them have a platinum?
I feel like Helldivers has to have a platinum. It's super difficult.
I mean, we could obviously take the time to look these up, but they're just silly little things. So, anyways, let's move on. What is on everybody's playlist this week?
Mine is Mortal Kombat X.
Good man.
Last podcast, we were talking Mortal Kombat X, and my roommate was in the room. My roommate does not play any video games. He sometimes watches me, loves watching me play first-person shooters, but he doesn't really play video games. Mm-hmm. And he heard me talking about Mortal Kombat X, and he's like, "Oh, I love Mortal Kombat. You should get that. I'll definitely play it." And as soon as I heard that, I'm like, "Yep, gonna go out and get it." I am still just as awful at any kind of fighting game, but it's a ton of fun to be playing with my roommate who normally plays no video games. And it's very quick how he acclimated to the violence in the game, because it started off with like him screaming at the first sending arrows through people's eyeballs and stuff, but now it's just no big deal.
And Miles?
Well, I was playing Mortal Kombat. I beat the story mode, and I'm going to send that on back to Gamefly. So now I'm just, I guess I'm going to have to go through and play some of those PlayStation Plus games I haven't played yet, and I played some Destiny today so I can get ready for House of Wolves, but that's pretty much it for me.
What's next on your Gamefly queue?
Nothing, actually, because I bought everything I wanted to play right now, and the next game that's like even remotely on my list is The Witcher, but that's next month, so I would have to pay for it. Also, right. House of Wolves, so I have nothing to play until House of Wolves.
Now, have you tried Monster Bag yet for the PlayStation Plus games?
I haven't tried like anything in the last month or two. Well, I tried
Helldivers.
Tower of Guns. Well, Helldivers.
Helldivers wasn't PlayStation Plus.
Oh, no, it wasn't. No, sorry. Sure. That's my bad.
I tried Tower of Guns. Did not like that one bit, so I deleted that. And I feel like I was about to start something else up, but something distracted me, so I don't know.
Yeah, I started Tower of Guns also. Played the first level and a half and was like, I see what's interesting about it, but turned it off. I was like, I'm not going to play this anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
I like Tower of Guns. It was fun to... At first, I touched it, didn't want to play it again. I ended up giving it a second shot, and it's really just about getting the right group of modifiers and stuff, because I was able to steamroll through this one. Like, I wasn't able to get past like the second level, then suddenly I was just getting through every single level in like under a minute or two, because I had like explosives and a shotgun and this and that.
Kind of reminds me of like old Doom or something, with its the way it looks and plays or feels or whatever when you shoot and stuff. It's kind of what it reminded me of, but and I was never a huge Doom fan. I did play it a little bit, and it was exciting as a kid, but quickly figured out that I didn't really like it as I got older. I was like, okay, whatever.
Yeah. But Monster Bag's interesting. It's like it very much has a... did you ever watch Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends?
Definitely.
Nope.
Definitely.
That kind of art style, almost. And
that.
it's a weird concept. It's kind of more adventure. It's like a puzzle game, kind of just getting left to right. And you can really play the first half of the game, which is like 2 hours long, and that's really the fun part. After that, it gets kind of grindy and weird. But the first half is pretty good.
Okay, it's a platformer, right?
No, it's puzzle. How it works is you go left to right in a group of people trying to get to the end point.
Okay.
There's like a line of maybe like 10 people, and you have to get across to all the way the other side. And normally there will be something blocking the path. Like there's a person who's standing vigilantly, like watching for something to come, and you have to get him a lemonade because he's thirsty, and then he'll get distracted. Or you have to open a door behind him so he falls out of a moving truck. It's got a weird, odd, very morbid sense of humor. A lot of death, like a whole lot. Like the world ends like 3 or 4 times in the game.
Yeah, that's an extreme escalation from getting him lemonade to just murdering him out of a truck. But okay.
No, it honestly has, because you're like you're a girl's imaginary friend, and you're trying to like follow her to school, and it ends in like you breaking open the hatch of all Pandora's boxes and creating this giant apocalypse. So yeah, that kind of escalates in that fashion.
Sounds like it.
What have you been playing,
my kind of game.
I started Tomb Raider Definitive Edition on, I believe, Friday or Saturday. I've been so exhausted after a hell of a week I had 2 weeks ago with all the homework and podcasting and all the stuff we had to do. I was so busy and exhausted that I needed something to just play that I've already played before, and I didn't really have to think about it, but I could enjoy it. And I kept going through my list of games, and I was like, man, Tomb Raider sounds fun. Tomb Raider really sounds fun. It was like, that's an easy game, and it was pretty good. And so I booted it up, and I played it for probably 3 or 4 hours, but I haven't gone back to it since like Sunday afternoon. I've been too busy since then working on homework again. But other than that, I also Friday night started Pokemon Alpha Sapphire, and I have put in like 10 or 12 hours into it since then, because here's my explanation for why I have not been playing Pokemon, why I haven't played Pokemon X or Alpha Sapphire for the last few years, is that I didn't have the time to grind levels for every one of my Pokemon in my party. That was like, thinking about that made me never want to play it, because that was too much time. It always used to take way too much time. And for some reason, I just wanted to start Alpha Sapphire on Friday night. I believe it was because Josh said something on Facebook. I saw something, but whatever. But anyway, so I play it for about an hour or whatever, and then I get the EXP share. And I realized that they had changed the EXP share function, and I had not heard that. I don't know how I didn't know that. And so, like, you know, instead of only one Pokemon getting 50% of the experience or whatever, your entire party gets 50%, other than the one who's playing, who gets 100%. And so, like, everyone's leveling up like crazy, and I'm like, holy fuck. How did I not know about this? That makes this game so much better. And so, like, I have just been, every chance I get when I have some free time, I've just been opening up my 3DS and playing Alpha Sapphire. So I've got through the first 2 gyms, and now I am, like, in the city where it's like all a mall or something. Like, it's all like indoors, and you could like keep walking down different hallways and going into different stores and stuff. Like, I went into like a cafeteria, like restaurant place, and you can talk to them and order a plate, and you have to wait in a chair for your plate to get done, and you have to wait 5 turns, which means you have to battle people to take up 5 turns or whatever while your food's getting ready. It was really interesting. But I got to that part, and I was like hella lost in this like maze, like city or department building or whatever. And so I turned it off like 2 days ago, or yesterday morning, and I haven't played it since then. But like I said, I've been busy with homework the last 2 days. Right. But yeah, so I totally all in on Pokemon, and we'll most likely be playing Shovel Knight also now for the next week as well. So I'm probably going to go back and forth between those games. So it's nice to play Pokemon again. It feels good. It feels very good.
Yeah. Miles, when's the last time you played Pokemon?
Last time I played Pokemon was I played Pokemon X for like the first week after it came out, because I beat it in like the first 2 days, and then I was just like screwing around trying to find a reason to keep playing. So that was the last time I played Pokemon.
Beat it in the first 2 days?
Yeah, I mean, like, I stayed up downloaded it at 12, and then it just, like, if you had the Blaziken, or was it Torchic? You got that for free when you first downloaded it, and it got, like, on top of normal experience, it got, like, an extra 50% on top of that, so it leveled up extremely fast. So I eventually got that up to like level 80, and all my other Pokemon were like 65. I was just steamrolling through everything because my Blaziken was overpowered. So, I mean, I had no problems with that. But I was just like, speaking of Pokemon, my friends and I were reminiscing about Digimon today. I really want those RPGs to come back.
Oh,
just
God,
a fun
me
fact
too.
about Miles.
Dude, no, I've signed every petition on the internet about bringing back the Digimon games. So, like, I am all in on all of the, like, the new ones, Cyber Sleuth or whatever. Like, holy fuck, I need those Digimon games to come. Like, I still have Digimon World 1 and 2.
So I have the first one.
Oh my god.
Was that PlayStation?
So good.
Yeah. So good. I have so many fond memories of that. And
I had no clue what I was doing.
Oh, I didn't either growing up.
If anyone in the chat says that we still have Digimon Rumble, I'm going to ban you the moment you say it.
Yeah, no shit. I mean, I bought it, but no shit. Okay, so you guys know there was a PSN flash sale this weekend. Did you happen to pick up anything?
No, I looked at it, though.
I did. I don't even know anymore. I just buy things now.
Did you post a picture like I did?
I did. No, I said I got Mortal Kombat X and I got something else, but I can't remember. Oh, do you know what? I got Daylight.
Daylight. Okay, yeah. I've played about an hour or two of that game. So
right, I think the price was like $375, and I'm like, of course I'll buy it for $375. I don't care.
See, that's the way I go into every fucking flash sale, and it's like, as we've talked about several times before, these flash sales are becoming more and more like Steam sales, and it's just I keep collecting games now, and it's like
they know how to do sales.
I don't know when I'm ever gonna play these games, but for $2.40, fuck yeah! Like it's just oh man. So I ended up buying Dead Island Riptide Complete Edition. And that was $7, and I was gonna rent that game before Dead Island 2 comes out anyways, and so I was like $7. That's as much as it would have cost me to rent it. So fuck it, bought it. Lord of the Rings: War in the North for $8. It's Lord of the Rings, so I was like fuck it. Sonic Adventure. I have Sonic Adventure 2 on my computer, and I was like okay, well this is $2. I'll grab Sonic Adventure for PS3. Red Dead Redemption: Undead Nightmare for $4. I have the Red Dead Redemption just base game that I just bought a few weeks ago on a sale also, and I've never played either of them. And I was like, I want Undead Nightmare for $4. Fuck yeah. And
Wait, you've never played Red Dead Redemption?
No, I don't like Westerns, and I don't like Grand Theft Auto, and that's the combination of both of those. And
how many, you mean Western movies, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I was like, how many Western games are there that he actually categorically does not like them?
I didn't play it either, I'll be honest.
Oh, wow. Maybe it's just me then.
And then
you're all alone in here.
I got Tiny Troopers Joint Ops for $280, and it looked little like a silly game. I was like, well, you know what? One day I could fucking stream this, so why not? So I got it. Beyond Good and Evil HD for $2. I hear so many good things about that game. I've never played it, and I was like, fuck it, $2, man. I'm gonna totally grab that. And then Silent Hill. The old Silent Hill, the very first one, for $2.40, and I was just like, I will play this because Silent Hills is probably canceled. Sigh.
Wait.
Why?
Kojima, Konami, all that bullshit that's happening. Remember? Have you guys not heard all this?
Well, I thought they were retaking all that stuff back. I thought that it was supposedly one.
It's not settled.
Right. Okay. I just heard that someone somewhere who started it made the apology that she spoke out of turn and yada yada yada. It's not happening.
Well, they didn't say it wasn't happening. They just said that he's still working on a Metal Gear Solid.
Yep.
That was it though. So
they've never acknowledged Silent Hills since that day. Since the day all the stuff happened.
Right. But then again, I mean, I don't expect them to if they're still working, if they're plugging away at Metal Gear.
It's a lot like you would expect a company to only talk about one game at a time and not be like Ubisoft where they release 3 games on the same day.
Valid point,
like,
sir.
Right? Am I wrong about that? Like, every other company is like, we will release one game this year and we're going to talk about that one game and then we'll talk about the next game next year. Ubisoft is like, here's 10 games, we'll talk about them all in 30 minutes and launch them all on the same day. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? Where are all your sales going to go? Like, it's stupid. But,
right.
Yeah.
Or they could be like Bethesda and just not talk about their games ever.
That
and
too.
no people will buy it.
That too. So, what? Sorry.
I was going to say, the good thing is about 10 games releasing on one day is that we have a Twitch account, and you take it from here. MONG Plays plug.
Oh, well, we'd already skipped way past that. We were just going to...
Oh, did we? No, we did.
Yeah. So, our trivia question today at the top of the screen, if you are watching it live or on YouTube, it asks, what is your favorite video game genre? To which Lou replied, action-adventure. Why?
Well, action-adventure is a... I don't even
I like
know,
it for some reason.
I don't even know what would fit in that genre other than Zelda, but I really like Zelda. And that is action-adventure.
Fair enough.
Maybe you could argue to some respects Metroid at times, platforming, action-adventure. Just things where there's a big map and you get to explore it, and there's action elements. I like those.
Okay.
That's valid. I mean, there are a lot of good action-adventure games. I mean, Yeah, I would consider God of War an action adventure.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
So Miles, you said MMO FPS, which
Yes.
there's only one real big one I can think of.
There's only one real big one, but every time the concept has come up, it's excited me. Like with Huxley back in the day, I was really hype over that game, even though it just disappeared into nothing. And of course, although I have my down times with Destiny, as is right now and will be next month, I get really excited when there's something new coming out. So especially if there's Fire Team or Horde mode, I'm gonna be all over that. So my fingers are doing all these movements. I don't even know what they're doing. It's all that excitement over the MMO FPS.
There's a reason we gave you a Destiny-related nickname.
That's valid. I'll take it.
Mine should be obvious, as I've said it so many times before, is that JRPGs are by far my favorite genre. If I ever have a chance to play a JRPG that I'm interested in, obviously I'm not interested in all of them. And I have the choice of that over any other genre, I'm always going to go to the JRPG. I'm always going to play Tales first before anything. I'm always going to play Final Fantasy before anything, Star Ocean before anything, like Ni no Kuni or any level 5 JRPG before anything. So it has to do with the storytelling. The way they go about storytelling is, in my personal opinion, so much better than any Western developer tells a story. Now, obviously, there are some games that don't fit that, such as The Last of Us. I would argue that The Last of Us has a story that is just as good, if not better, than any JRPG story. But it's just the fact that in JRPGs you get to learn about every single character. They all have backstories. They all have side stories. They all have their own emotions. They all have their own motivations, things like that. And you slowly learn them through different parts of JRPGs. And I really like that.
Yeah. What do you for JRPGs? Does that limited to actual JRPGs, or is it just stuff in that genre? Like, are you including Child of Light?
No,
you're not.
No, it's not a JRPG.
It's just influenced.
I'm talking.
JRPGs.
Yeah, I'm talking. JRPGs are Square Enix, Bandai Namco, Tri-Ace,
So it has to be Japanese.
Yeah, it's a JRPG. There are no Western JRPGs that I have played, or Western-based, or JRPG-based Western games that I've played that come anything close to a JRPG. I love Child of Light. Child of Light's a great game. It's not a JRPG. It's not. It does not fit that. And there's this one. Oh, let me see. Which tab is it under? Do I have it still saved? Damn it! There was a Western JRPG that was coming. I believe it's still coming. It was on Kickstarter a few years ago. One day, Ryan Clements tweeted about it, and I checked it out or whatever, and it looked fucking awesome. But it just hasn't come out yet, so I haven't been able to play it or anything. But it looked like it was going to be like a JRPG. It actually looked like a JRPG, but designed by a Western developer. But so we'll see if that ever launches. But yeah, JRPGs far and away. So, now, without further ado, once again, let's move into the...
News from nowhere!
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. So our first story of the day, and we have, 8 now, right?
Oh, I don't know.
Do we?
Seven.
1, 2, 3. 7. We have 7.
Siete.
I'm not going to say it's a baker's dozen. I'm not going to steal the thing. But our first story is about Star Wars Battlefront. Everyone's so hype over that. You should be if you're not. DICE's Star Wars Battlefront was rumored to be released on November 17th for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. You better get on PS4, because if you don't, you're a loser. And EA has confirmed that, and that was on Friday. So the game will unfortunately not be containing space battles, as everyone was hoping. The game, yeah. I know. And the Legend system, if anyone remembers that from the second one, will be returning, so you can play as characters like Darth Vader, Boba Fett, and more. They might even be including Han Solo. I kind of want the old version, so he can limp around and be a little bit less accurate. It'll also include iconic vehicles like the Millennium Falcon, of course. The game will also focus on the original trilogy, so, not any of the crap that came out recently. Not saying that what comes out later this year is going to be bad. I don't know about that yet. Also, There's going to be plenty of post-release content. They'll be featuring a full-fledged story campaign, but instead of a sequence of missions that can be played alone or co-op, both online and split screen. So that's great for co-op. Patrick Bach, yes, the general manager of DICE said, and I quote, "The game is first and foremost a multiplayer game. Battlefront was a multiplayer game. That's the game we wanted to create, to recreate the battles of the original trilogy. After the game releases, there will be free DLC." Everyone loves that. Released, bringing the gap between... Something popped up and blocked out my window. There we go. Bridging the gap between Star Wars Episode 6 and 7, featuring the Battle of Jakku. I hope I said that right, which is referenced in the latest Star Wars Episode 7 trailer. And for those with EA Access, you'll be able to play it early on Xbox One, although how early is unclear. The free DLC with the Battle of Jakku will be released on December 8th, with those who pre-ordered getting DLC a week early on December 1st. Words.
So yeah,
Words.
It is coming. Well, last week on the podcast we talked about the rumored release date. That's been confirmed. We didn't know anything about the trailer. We didn't know anything about the campaign. Didn't know any of that stuff last week. We do now. So what do you think? Are you still excited for Battlefront?
I used to co-op gameplay, and I can play through the whole thing in co-op, so I'm happy.
Yeah, that's exactly how I was looking at it. Like, oh man, I want some sort of a campaign. If it's a mission structure, I think I can deal with that. And like you said, if I could play it alone or co-op, like, one night we could boot it up and try to beat our scores or whatever together, or the next night I don't have to play it online with anybody. I could play it by myself like that. That seems fun enough because Battlefront was only ever a multiplayer game, really. So it's just like I don't get the outcry online has been that why doesn't it have a campaign? It should have a campaign. We expected one when it never did, and so like. I've been looking for a multiplayer game, a first-person shooter, to take over my Call of Duty itch and my Halo itch that I have not scratched in a long time, and Battlefront looks to be that because it's been even longer since I've scratched that one. Like it doesn't matter that we're getting Black Ops 3. It's just like, do I really want to play Black Ops? I don't know. And Halo 5, yeah, I'm going to play Halo 5, but do I want to really invest a lot of multiplayer time into it? Like Battlefront, if it does what it sounds like, if it's as awesome as it sounds, the multiplayer, then I am totally all in.
Right. Definitely. You just said scratch your FPS itch. This isn't an FPS, right? I didn't miss that. Is this an FPS?
It's first-person shooter. You could You could switch between first and third person on the go.
Maybe I just never switched it.
Yeah.
I don't remember doing so, but yeah. I'll take your word for it.
You could switch between first and third person on the go.
Okay.
I know that. But yeah, I'm super excited about it. I'll wait till the inevitable E3 gameplay showcase to make a true verdict from Fable Merc. I just want a full multiplayer with bots from Zero Killer. Or Zero Killer. Yeah,
I would be more upset if news came out that it was online only. That would be
kind of annoying.
If it was
that
Titanfall,
would infuriate me.
If it was Titanfall.
Yeah, like if it was Titanfall, like if I couldn't play it offline, I would get incredibly upset, and that is because there is a history of being able to play offline. But I think that just having a multiplayer campaign, that's fine with me. I actually don't know the story of Star Wars. Something to do with a Hobbit or something. I could care less. I just really love the gameplay and the environments.
Okay, we actually, our question this week submitted by Toonday. Is he in the chat right now?
Pronounced Toonday.
Was earlier.
Dun, 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 dun. Rancid Beast. Toonday's here. Hey, Toonday. So, Toonday sent in a question at contact.mong@gmail.com, which is where you could send us questions ahead of time. If you have some news topic you want us to talk about specifically, some question you want us to answer, anything like that. His question: do you find it weird that people are complaining that Star Wars Battlefront will not have a single-player campaign when the previous two didn't? I heard some people in the Unlocked group say they did, but they didn't have one. They did.
Maybe they were upset, but they didn't have a good reason.
Okay. They were just offline multiplayer matches that had someone doing voiceover because each match to explain why each faction is fighting on a specific match. That is not what I call a campaign. A campaign needs to have a plot with a protagonist, antagonist, a climax, etc., etc. Do you guys agree? Or would you consider the ability to play multiplayer matches offline, which DICE said they are providing a campaign? So, we need to break this down, because there are several questions.
Okay. First question would be, do you think it's weird that people are complaining even though the old ones didn't have a campaign? That's the first question, right?
Yep.
I don't know. It seems like everyone's expecting all the worlds, if you will, in games nowadays. Like, they're expecting a single player, a multiplayer, a multiplayer where you play as people who are playing as other people. So I don't know. It's like expected, because especially now that video games are bigger and the internet's bigger, everyone's going to complain about something.
Yeah.
So, I mean, do I agree with it? No, but somebody has to complain about something when it's announced. So
now, the ignorant Lou. Do you find it weird?
What you did there.
Do you find it weird that people are complaining?
I don't find it weird that people are complaining. I think their complaints are weird.
Yes.
That would be the thing. But yeah, it's just normal that people will complain. I guarantee you that if there was a campaign, people would be complaining how it is breaking the tradition of Battlefront to have a campaign. So,
or people would get mad that they were taking resources away from the multiplayer to make the campaign.
Yeah, exactly.
If the multiplayer had one thing wrong with it, well, they shouldn't have fucking added a campaign. You know, it's like, it's that kind of argument. And, you know, it's to go to the console war, the fan base, the fanboy war. Like, can you imagine if this game was exclusive to one console? Because if it was exclusive to PlayStation, Xbox fans would be like, well, it doesn't have a fucking campaign, so it doesn't matter. You know, and PlayStation fans would be like, we didn't want a fucking campaign anyways. You know, and vice versa. Either way, it's just like Titanfall. PlayStation fans were like, well, it doesn't have a fucking campaign, so it's going to suck. And Xbox fans, you know, just defended it like hell. And it's just like the fact that this is multi-platform, now we're seeing everyone, like, lash out at it. It's just, it's really, really weird.
Right.
I feel like this transcends the platform, like fanboys and stuff. Because let's be honest, Star Wars is bigger than the platform that it's on. And also on top of that, you have to think that, like, people have switched, for the sake of fanboys, allegiances since the last Battlefront came out, because that was on PlayStation 2 and Xbox, I believe, right? That was back in that generation. So that's 2 generations ago, 3 kinda. So people have gone from PlayStation to Xbox and back and forth and stuff. So that would be more of an issue of, like, just, why isn't this getting this? I'm sad because I switched and now blah 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 blah.
Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so I think one thing, before we move on to the other questions on this, one thing we should point out is that why are more developers not taking this approach and not fucking numbering the reboot or the next gen franchise and just renaming it the first one and just starting over? Like, you know, obviously this is developed by a different person. This is, you know, but it's still the 3rd Star Wars Battlefront iteration, but it's not Star Wars Battlefront 3. It is Star Wars Battlefront.
Give me examples. I'm not sure what you're
Uncharted
talking about.
4. I'm talking about, like, any Halo 5. All these games.
Is it Uncharted 4?
Uncharted
not just
4,
Uncharted Thief's End?
Nope. Uncharted 4: Thief's End. There's every single next gen continuation of any game last gen.
Infamous Second Son.
Other than that, but it's so weird that every time a game is announced, or like when we went back to some of the consoles, like everybody thought that Xbox One was going to be just Xbox, you know, and then they said Xbox One, and everyone's like, well, what the fuck, you know, why not Xbox 3 in that case? This is one of those weird things. I'm just like, thank you, EA, or thank you, DICE. You got it right, you know. This is that. I appreciate that. Mm-hmm. But moving on to the other questions. A campaign needs to have a plot with protagonist, antagonist, a climax. Do you guys agree?
I feel like there's different ways you can say a campaign. Like, there's what we're used to in single player, where it is exactly that. But there's also, like, you can call a campaign a series of missions you go through to complete like how this is probably going to be, where it's like the missions have an order when you're playing in the campaign.
Yeah.
And then once you're done with them, you can go into them as whichever way you want, but it's still a campaign. Like, it's a war campaign, but it still is a set progression. There we go.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I'm of the opinion where, to me, a campaign is story. It's protagonist, antagonist, plot, climax kind of thing. So like, I wouldn't consider this, unless it has some sort of story that we just don't know about, you know. I wouldn't consider this really a campaign. I would just consider this a mode, you know. It's like missions mode.
Right.
And to me, that's not a campaign. That's a mode itself, but not a campaign. So, you know, there's a little bit of a distinction there. Whether or not a game needs a campaign is another question. But I do kind of agree with Tunde on his how he describes a campaign.
Yeah, I think that's weird. I never really thought about that. But there is a distinction between campaign and story mode.
Or
And-
other
Okay,
modes.
Yeah, and other modes. And I really don't know what that difference would be, because they're normally so interchangeable in most games.
Because you don't
Yeah.
have multiple of them. You only have one in most games.
Right, yeah. I
I
don't
have
know.
to imagine that this campaign is just going to be like accented with cinematics, maybe after every mission or after every few missions
Oh,
in Battlefront.
yeah. What's that similar to? I mean, that's similar to like most Call of Duty games, but
Yeah.
other than that, there are other games like.
I wonder where the term was popularized. That'd make a
good
great
question.
article. Just like run-of-the-mill gaming terms, where they started, what they mean now.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I know the Gundam series was like that. The one where you campaign mode was. Well, no, that was. Never mind. That's not the same. But I don't know.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. There's one really popular game that I've played in the past, and it was, you pick a mission, it gives you a cinematic, you play the game, gives you a cinematic, you're out. Is it Destiny? Does Destiny do that?
Well, kind of, but
Or
those
is it there's another game? I don't fucking remember. It doesn't really
don't know.
matter. It doesn't matter in the end. But anyway, so another question he asks is, would you consider the ability to play multiplayer matches offline a campaign? Which is kind of what we were just addressing.
I do, but
You would consider that being a campaign, even if there's no story content? Just
well, that's with the caveat, I guess is the right word, that it has to have some kind of like cinematics. Like if I'm offline and I'm playing a set order of missions, and
Right.
there's cinematics every now and then tossed in, like say that campaign. If there's no cinematics or anything, then yeah, no, that's not it's a campaign, but it's not a story campaign. If you
Yeah.
will.
I agree. I think that if it's just offline play, that doesn't mean it's a campaign. It's not worse off for not being a campaign either.
yeah.
But there needs to be some sort of link between that, between the offline modes to warrant that. Like, maybe if... I'm trying to think. It doesn't necessarily... I guess it's not necessary that there is a protagonist in the normal sense of like characters. Like,
Yeah.
I don't need to know if they were able to tell me what is happening in the war between each battle, that's enough of the story for me.
Yeah.
And that, I think, would warrant a campaign, but otherwise, no.
We had a question in the chat a little bit ago about the number of maps that are going to be available in the game. And he asked if he was hoping that there was going to be more than one per planet, because there are 4 planets that you can play on right now. And I referenced that that was announced, but I wanted to confirm that I just looked it up. There are 4 planets that are playable on those mini maps to play on. We have varying map sizes from large to small to cater to different experiences and different modes. There will be more than 8 maps and more than 2 per planet at launch. That coming from a DICE developer. So there are going to be several of them. So look forward to that. That's nice. If you're going to be launching specifically a multiplayer game, you want to have a lot of maps.
Yeah.
Right.
Otherwise, it gets really boring really fast. But okay, so that are you guys fed up with Battlefront stuff? Because ready to move on.
Yeah, let's move on.
Okay.
Yeah.
You want to say anything? You can say something.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, if we're going by textbook definitions of campaign,
Okay.
it doesn't have to have any story whatsoever. by textbook definition.
Yeah.
And that's the last thing I have to say.
Fucking textbooks.
I mean, I can read the definition, but that's
about to graduate college. I don't want no more fucking textbooks, man. Get that shit out of here. Okay, story number 2. We're finally at number 2, only 45 minutes into the podcast. Number 2. It's no secret that the PlayStation 4 is dominating the sales market, and according to the latest NPD data, the console continued its tour de force in March. With the hardware's unparalleled success since launch, this type of announcement has almost become expected. Despite this, Sony released the following statement. We're truly honored PlayStation 4 is the top-selling console and number 1 in software sales again, according to NPD sales data for March 2015. PS4 remains the cumulative sales leader both globally and in the United States, and we want to thank gamers worldwide for their ongoing support. Xbox One also finished strong and commented on their hardware, or that their hardware is outpacing its predecessor, the Xbox 360. Even Nintendo saw a positive growth this month when comparing their year-over-year sales. The corporate giant released the following statement. The new Nintendo 3DS XL system continues to inject growth into Nintendo's handheld business, and the momentum created for Wii U in 2014 has carried over into 2015. Take these two elements, add in fun, exclusive titles starring some of the biggest names in gaming, and overall sales of Nintendo hardware systems so far in 2015 have increased by nearly 60% over sales during the same time frame in 2014. Mm-hmm. The top software sales results for March are number 1, Battlefield, which sold best on Xbox One. Number 2, Bloodborne, which obviously is PS4.
Right.
Number 3, Grand Theft Auto 5, which sold best on Xbox One. Number 4, Mario Party 10, which was Wii U. Number 5, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, still selling well. Sold best last month on PS4. Number 6, MLB 15 The Show, which only had 1 day to make the list, and it cracked number 6.
Wow.
Wow, yeah, yeah, that is impressive. Okay.
Maybe. We'll talk about it.
Number 7, Minecraft, sold best on Xbox 360.
Still in there.
Number 8, NBA 2K15, which I believe it had a few sales last month. I may be wrong, but that sold best on PS4, which also with the upcoming playoffs, well, the now ongoing playoffs. And then number 9, Borderlands, the Handsome Collection, which sold best on PS4. And finally, number 10, Final Fantasy 15 Episode 2 Skate Demo. I mean, Type 0 HD. So that wraps up the top 10. What do you guys...
All right.
Okay.
This is my opinion.
Go on.
This is a bad software chart. I don't think software sales were big this month. And I mean, there's no way of knowing this. They don't give us actual numbers. But I think the fact that Mario Party 10 is number 4 speaks volumes.
I don't really think that.
And I think that also the fact that MLB 15 on its first day cracked number 6. I know there's a dedicated baseball fan group, but that just seems incredibly high for, 1 day sales on a 2 console exclusive. I think that, sure, Battlefield and Bloodborne and Grand Theft Auto must have sold boatloads, but I think those are the 3 that did, and everything else below that.
I think that your assumptions are wrong.
Okay.
I would argue that Mario Party sold well because the fact that it's Mario Party, not the fact that it sucked this year. Compare what everybody says, obviously.
Well, there was also the Amiibo bundle, which definitely helped. I bought it.
That's definitely, yeah. So Mario Party 10 holds enough cachet that it's going to sell well no matter what. And it had, I believe, a week or 2 weeks to get in there. And then MLB 15 The Show, not only does it have a dedicated baseball following, it's argued as the best sports game ever. Like, it's MLB 15 The Show, or MLB The Show, that series is argued to be one of the better first party games and one of the better sports games out there. And it has a huge following. Like, you underestimate the amount of people that buy that every year. Just like when we were talking about Gran Turismo and how well it sells, this is one of those type of games. This sells millions every year. And the fact that it releases on opening week, it's a week before opening week, that just everybody is just ready for baseball, and so I don't doubt that it sold several 100,000 in that one day. So, and the fact that it's also PS4, PS3, and Vita all in the same day, even though they didn't list Vita on here. But yeah, the other ones, NBA and stuff like that. Like you have to consider Final Fantasy Type 0 HD. That's sold over 1 million copies, not in just that month, but it's been announced that it's sold over 1 million copies, I believe, a week or two ago, and so it had to have at least sold several 100,000 in the time that it was released. So all of those. Wait,
was that worldwide that it sold 1 million?
I don't know. I just know that it sold 1 million.
I mean, Bloodborne sold 1 million, and that's top of the list.
Oh yeah. But yeah. So I don't know. I think that this is no different than any other month. Most of them, the lower you get in the top 10, they're in just a few 100,000, like 300,000 or 400,000 copies for a game, and I don't think that changes month in and month out. But that's just me, we don't, like you said, we don't know the numbers, so It's all speculation.
Well, I'm speculating that Bloodborne got robbed this month. I'm speculating that Bloodborne had enough sales to one console to take up 4 of the consoles that Battlefield was sold on, and they just managed to eke by on that last one. Bloodborne's coming for you, Battlefield. This is a wrestling thing now.
It doesn't surprise me that PS4 led in sales again, especially with Bloodborne releasing that month. It doesn't matter how good Ori and the Blind Forest was as an Xbox One exclusive. That would never put it above Bloodborne, because Bloodborne's the AAA game. It's the big game, and it's a different audience. I mean, I saw so many people buy PS4s for Bloodborne, but that's because the people buying were PC players who no longer no longer could play their Souls games on the PC anymore, because Bloodborne is, of course, PS4 exclusive. Yeah, and then the amount of people, like it's so crazy, the amount of people that are playing Bloodborne who now want to play Dark Souls. And almost everybody I see is like, don't do it. You're not going to like Dark Souls if you like Bloodborne. Right. Don't do it. You're just going to waste money on it. It's just oh, man. Your Gamefly queue. Yeah. Has Bloodborne come in? Or did you just say, you know what, don't never send it? I eventually removed it because I waited, 2 weeks and didn't get it. And so I pulled it and instead put Battlefield Hardline on, got Battlefield Hardline immediately. Right. Played that. And then after sending that back, I just put on Fire Emblem Awakening, and they just shipped me that yesterday. So I'm going to be playing Fire Emblem soon. Super excited about that. Oh, you know what? We don't have it on this. Why do you have a fork? List. Can we I have a fork for unknown reasons. For unknown. Okay, go on. Cover whatever's not on the list. Yeah, it's not going to be covered unless I talk about it. Okay. Right now. Okay. Hearthstone. Okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that came out for phones. Yep, I have it downloaded. I already played the first 2 or 3 missions on it or whatever. Okay. It's okay. It's just like most of my other phone games where I could play it probably for 10, 15 minutes at a time and then just want to put it away or whatever. And so that's what I'm kind of looking at it as. So whenever I get bored and I'm just sitting around waiting for a class or doing something, that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to try to play that a few times. And so I'll update you as I get further. But I have played a few of the missions, trying to figure out how everything works. But yeah, it's pretty good. I just got into it again on the phone. On the phone. On the phone. I took a long break, and now all of a sudden I'm into it. I'm buying these goblins and whatever decks, like the new expansion for it. I'm looking into buying all those campaigns, which are campaigns, even though there's no story. Anyway. All right, go on, next story. Let's move on. Okay. Shovel Knight. We've been talking about it. We have winners. We already did that. Yep. Officially launching on Xbox One next week. What? I know, they just dropped that bomb. No one was expecting it. While Shovel Knight releases today across PS4, PS3, and PS Vita, and includes the God of War Kratos for PlayStation 4, PlayStation 3, and Vita. The Xbox One version releases next week and will feature Battletoads in the game. Shovel Knight is currently available on PS4, PS3, PS Vita, Wii U, 3DS, PC, Mac, and Linux. The Xbox One version of the title will release next week. I've said that a million times at this point. So, who's going to be buying Shovel Knight twice in the next 7 days? That was like.
Not even for Battletoads.
Not even for Battletoads.
I'm gonna turn around and buy it on Wii U also. It's like,
However crazy that is.
buy it on all of my consoles. Oh man, yeah, I never played Battletoads growing up, so I don't really give a fuck about that. I find it interesting that everybody's so obsessed with Battletoads lately.
Yep.
So, but I mean, someday in the future, if it goes on sale, I'm gonna get it on PS4 today. Like, I'm buying it on PS4 today. But if it goes on sale in the future on Xbox One, if it goes down to like $5 or something on one of those random weekend sales, I will absolutely pick it up on Xbox One. That's more achievements. So why not?
And it's about supporting the companies you like.
Exactly. I always try to do that, especially if it's downloadable or something like that, where that does go to those people. It's not like buying a used game for cheap. But yeah, so interesting that they're going to get it next week.
Yeah.
Moving on, number 4. Bandai Namco has revealed why they changed recently and are now bringing over so many Japanese titles to the West. Did you know that they changed?
No.
I did not know.
You didn't know?
Me.
Did you know that they were bringing over a lot of games?
I did notice that.
I did? Okay. Miles does pay attention to the to gaming, and Lou doesn't.
Well, do you mean like recently, as in within the past year or so?
No,
or the past week.
I'm talking like past 2 years or so. It's all of a sudden we're getting all kinds of JRPGs, random obscure games, stuff like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm like, well, they've already been releasing every game that no one cares about.
Yeah.
So how much more can they possibly do?
So in an interview with DualShockers, Bandai Namco said, "We're actually not really sure if Bandai Namco has changed. Actually, you guys might have changed. What I mean is that actually there are more and more people who like anime contests and are also big fans of Japanese comics, which are manga. The reason why we are releasing this kind of Japanese translations are bad. These kind of titles is because there are actually more fans all over the world. Speaking of J-Stars, as you know, there are several challenges to publish this game overseas. But what we believe is that as long as there are fans, now it's really time to answer their voices. I strongly believe that this is a really good move to release J-Stars overseas," which is one of those games that when it was originally announced that it was coming west, both Miles and I were ecstatic and almost in disbelief because neither of us ever expected that game.
Right.
That's one of those random anime fighters that it's just like, that's never going to come over here. We never get those games. It just doesn't happen. And so, yeah, it's Bandai Namco stepping up their game. They're localizing Tales games like crazy. We've had Grace's Exilia 2, Symphonia Chronicles, and Hearts R. 5 games. And Symphonia Chronicles is actually 2 games. So 6 games within the past 2 years. That is 2 years and 6 Tales games, and it's just. And this year they're going to be coming out with Zestiria, and they're just. Bandai Namco stepped up their game. I'm very happy about it.
Yeah, and I mean, for anyone who's wondering, J-Stars is like the Super Smash Bros of manga and anime. So, come on, how could you not be excited about that? In America, where we never get that stuff localized.
It's your Gokus versus your Narutos versus your Ichigos versus your, it's like all of the major anime and manga have their big characters in that game, and it's to you doesn't seem like a big deal. To Miles and I, and to Josh in the chat, we'll freak out over that kind of stuff. To be able to play as all of our favorite characters fighting against each other, that's cool. But yeah. So anyways, that's interesting news. I'm really happy to see it. I really like Bandai Namco. I like what they're doing right now.
Definitely.
Right.
Number 5, Lou.
Number 5. Someone has beat Bloodborne with a rock band guitar. They can go fuck themselves. Twitch streamer Bearsley completed a full run of Bloodborne with the controls mapped to his Xbox 360 Rock Band faux Fender Stratocaster. Oh my god, I hate him. How much free time in the world does that take?
I heard that like when it came to the Bloodstars beefs, he like just barely beat it.
Really?
Oh,
his entire run is up on YouTube, I believe. So you could actually see it. But
it shows him doing the guitar too. It's like him off camera just strumming away.
I don't know. I haven't watched it. I just know it happened.
Okay.
And I also know that this guy specifically, he's done this with other Souls games with other with other controllers. So not necessarily a guitar from Rock Band, but other I think was described as difficult controllers or something like that. He's used those to beat them. It's just like, what the hell? Like, who has that much time to beat all of the Souls games on hard or whatever, or whatever difficult? I don't know.
I must feel upset for him.
I do too. Like, what is his life like?
And then again, we're here podcasting, and thank you everyone for watching. Speaking of which, I might have to get going now. I have law school classes. Kill me.
Oh no! That means we're gonna have to reset the camera and everything. Okay.
All right. So do we have to prepare everyone? You just keep refreshing?
You should just leave your camera facing the wall for the next 2 hours. Just leave. No. Yeah. Okay. So Lou, go ahead and say your goodbyes, and as soon as you're out, I will reset the cameras real quick, and then we'll pick up and continue. So sorry for the downtime here.
All right. So basically, yeah. Goodbye, everyone. I have law school.
Bye.
That's my goodbyes. Later, Lou. All right. Make sure you keep refreshing because things aren't going to be working straight away.
The stream will work. The stream will work just fine, but the cameras will all be fucked up for 30 seconds or so.
All right.
Bye, man.
Bye. I'm taking my fork with me.
Okay.
All right. Let's see how I do this.
Get out of here.
Just get the fuck out.
I think you left.
Okay. Now, look at his Skype face. If it would just stay like that, it would be perfect. But it won't, because eventually it's just going to disappear. And then it's going to adjust the entire window we have with all of our cameras, which means all of the cameras shift on there. There it goes. Told you it was going to happen.
Bye, Picture Lou.
Why is my camera... Why can't I move your camera to a different spot?
I'm in 2 different places.
Hey guys, so hold on. God damn it, I hate when we have to do this.
I'm just doing stuff.
I know.
Should we keep talking at least, or?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, let's keep going. All right, on to the next story, since I assume they can hear us. So Square Enix has revealed the full title for Dragon Quest Heroes, not Dragon Age Quest Heroes, in the West, and it's super long. I only took this story because I like reading Japanese words. The title in English is Dragon Quest Heroes, The World Trees Woe and the Blight Below. I really like that title. It's kind of funny. The subtitle is only partly similar to the original. Here comes the challenge. Yamiryu to Sekaiju no Shiro.
No Shiro!
No Shiro! Which translated to The Dark Dragon in the Castle of the World Tree. That is less than slightly similar, actually. Dragon Quest Heroes, The World Trees Woe, and The Blight Below still does not have an official release date for the Western markets, but will launch for PS4 later this year. I haven't played a Dragon Quest game because the first one I played was Dragon Quest Monsters, and none of the other ones have been like that one. But I might play this one just so I can say I'm going to pick out The World Trees Woe and The Blight Below, and people will just be like, is this a movie, is this a weird band, or is this a video game?
I was interested in Dragon Quest Heroes all along. Like I always wanted to play it, and as soon as I saw a tweet about it first, like, oh man, Square Enix did it again or whatever. They gave a long subtitle to the game, and I immediately was like, oh, it can't be that bad. Pulled up the story, saw it, was like, oh my god,
surprise!
What does this even mean? It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be surprised. That happens so often with these games.
True.
Anything else?
No, I mean that. I just like saying the World Trees Woe and the Blight Below. That's all.
Yamiryu Sekaiju no Shiro.
Kaiju, Godzilla.
Whatever. Okay, moving on to the last news story of the day. Microsoft's Xbox division head, Phil Spencer, answered many questions from fans on Twitter telling us what to expect in the coming months. First of all, we learned that there are plans for their plans for E3 are still in the works. They're still changing. He had, like I said, several questions here. So we'll go through some of them. One of them, he was asked if we'll see DirectX 12 for games on Xbox One at E3, and he said, "This time of year is tough. I really can't talk about what we'll have at E3. We're still building our plan." Then he goes on, and he's asked, "Hope all is well, Gears hype, blah, blah, blah." And it feels like tomorrow's a full day content review for E3, looking at everything we might show, some of the best work days. Inspiring. Blah, 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 blah. Moving on some more. He goes on, and he said, "We should have new exclusive IP at E3. I'm trying to make this E3 more about first party than past E3s," which is like the biggest part of all these tweets. I was like, holy fuck, that's awesome. Then he was asked, somebody said, "Keep on building up the first party. It's the best long-term route." And feels like I agree. It means this year's E3 might feel different from past E3s, but I like focusing on our games. And then he said, "This is going to be a fun year. I think it might be our best first-party content ever." Mind explosion.
That's
like,
a big claim.
If there's anything you're going to take away from that, it's just like that's the one. That is awesome. So I'm super excited about E3 this year. We know that big things are coming. We know Sony is holding a lot of cards close to their vest. Because all their developers are working on games, but we don't know what they are yet. So everybody expects some major surprise announcements there. And then with Phil Spencer saying this about Xbox games, that's a good sign that only good things can come from new exclusive IP and new first party content.
They're finally going to make that Xbox Smash Bros. That everyone's been waiting for, and by everyone I mean no one, because it'd just be Master Chief versus Marcus Phoenix. But this is good news. I always like hearing about new IPs, especially if they're IPs that give me a reason to buy a console like an Xbox One.
Yep.
Yeah.
Something you don't have.
Yeah, this is true. I still don't have one. Like on Monday, yesterday, since it's just Tuesday, when I mentioned this story, I was like, I know I'm the guy who keeps saying this is going to be what makes me buy an Xbox One, but this might be the thing that makes me buy an Xbox One. I don't know. Also, I wanted to apologize to Mr. Phil Spencer for using a horrible picture on the video, but I see that he makes that face regardless. So.
Oh, man. So do you have any speculations about first-party content?
I'm not going to ever try and predict IPs anymore, especially not new ones. Like, if someone came out and they're like, yeah, we're working on one of our established IPs and they have two, I might be willing to guess which one it's going to be. But if it's like, yeah, this is going to be a new first-party game, I'm just going to be like, I don't know, because you all spoiled Scalebound and Phantom Dust in the same year. I know one of them already existed, but still, those were just like completely out of left field and Crackdown. So I'm not going to try and get in these people's minds anymore.
I honestly don't know. It could be Battletoads. It's like going back to what we were talking about earlier. I mean, everybody expects that to eventually come, and I don't see any reason why they wouldn't. It has more hype now than it's ever had in its entire history for a crappy series. It's just like, why not give the fans what they want? Because it's never going to be higher. There's never going to be more hype. Halo MMO, like the one over in Russia. I don't know. I don't know if they'll ever port that anywhere. It's interesting that it is only Russian, like exclusive over there. That's really strange. What if they pull out Primal Rage from Dark Lurker?
Wow. Wow, that'd be that is a name I've not heard in a very long time.
Yeah, I haven't either. That's so crazy. Yes. Do you expect it to be? Here's a good question. What do you think? Do you think it'll be a new exclusive IP, or bringing back old IP as exclusive? Because there's so many old franchises they could bring back. For instance, Shot in the Dark, like way out, but the fact that there are now more deals being made for formerly third-party games becoming exclusive. What if like Dino Crisis comes back? I believe
that's another name I haven't heard in a long time.
What was that? Capcom Dino Crisis?
I think it was.
And that was back in the 90s.
Yeah.
He's Capcom. So what if just some random? What if Xbox is like, you know what? Capcom. Let's make a deal. Bring back Dino Crisis, Xbox One exclusive. It's like, I would shit, like oh my god, like I would be so excited for that because I loved Dino Crisis growing up, and I have downloaded the old PSN ones, the versions of it or whatever, so I could play them again. So like that would be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, just like if they did both, that'd be wonderful. Like brought something back from the dead and showed off this new IP they're teasing.
Yep. Be awesome. Okay.
I mean, like I said, they just need to make sure Phantom Dust happens. That's my only concern.
Yeah.
Phil Spencer, if you're listening, I'm sorry about the picture. Please just give me Phantom Dust and I'll buy your console.
Okay, so that wraps up the news from nowhere. We're going to move into the listener questions for a few minutes until it starts to slow down. So if you have any questions, if you didn't see the message I put in the Twitch chat, we're soliciting questions now to answer. And if you want to email us a question for next week's podcast, anytime ahead of time, you can email us at contact.mong@gmail.com. We will be sure to add those to the outline and answer those questions in the podcast, especially if they have to do with one of the news stories. We'll try to fit that into that news story like we did today. But the first question on our Twitch chat is from Josh, who was our winner for Shovel Knight, one of our winners for Shovel Knight today. He asked, what's your biggest prediction for each company for the C3?
Oh, God.
I'm assuming he's meaning the big companies as in Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo, and not...
Big three.
Yeah, and not Capcom, Square Enix, Bandai Namco, everybody else, basically. Mine is Sony one is Last Guardian this year. Yeah. Gonna happen.
God, I don't have any predictions. I guess my Sony one would be, they said they're not working on God of War, but hopefully they're working on God of War. I don't know. I know they're planning on bringing, the third? Yeah, they were planning on remastering the third one. Hopefully they're making a fourth, or something that isn't like a prequel.
Yeah.
We've had enough of those.
I believe they are working on the next God of War, and it's not a prequel. I think that was all confirmed last year. At some time. No, I think it was E3 week. It was an accidental announcement. It was one of their developers, I think, said that, but I may be wrong. Xbox? Can you think of anything?
Either Gears or Phantom Dust. That they already said they work on Phantom Dust.
Yeah.
Oh, and they already said they're working on Gears.
Halo Wars, the return of Halo Wars.
No one wants to see that.
No one wants to see that, but Microsoft is persistent, and they think people want it.
You know, maybe they'll bring what is that? Phantom Star or Fantasy Star back.
Fantasy Star? Oh God.
Yeah. I used to play that demo all the time.
Oh, here's one. Here's one. In the next month and a half, the Conker's Conker's DLC for Project Spark is going to make so much excitement that E3 they're going to announce that Conker is officially getting a reboot. There we go.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. I mean, I think everyone was really disappointed when they were like, Conker's back, and this is what he's been reduced to.
Yeah.
So,
Project Spark. Nintendo? They canceled Zelda. No, just kidding. Sorry.
The only thing I care about, put Pokemon on the, what are they calling it? The NX. Put Pokemon on the NX. I don't want to buy a Wii. Put it on the NX where I can use a controller.
Wii U?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good question. I think the big one this year for Nintendo, since they're not going to show off Zelda, that's not happening. They've already announced that. I think the big Nintendo announcement this year could be finally announcing the Amiibo game. So
if they bring Gotcha Force back.
Gotcha Force. There you go. Back to Gotcha Force. Yeah.
Always Gotcha Force.
I think Nintendo's finally going to get a Skylanders type game for Amiibo. I think that could be their big one finally, because people are, it's kind of weird to say it. People are buying Amiibo without really knowing why they're buying them. Like they're all just buying them and they're obsessed with it. And after they have them all, I've heard from a lot of people like, well, now why do I have these? Like, what do I want to do with these? Because they don't really do a whole lot in games yet. It's just like, so maybe this is finally going to be that time where, like, after releasing 50 plus Amiibo, they're like, you know what? Here's a game where you can actually use all of them and do all kinds of crazy stuff. Well, that would be awesome.
Super Amiibo Adventures.
Super Amiibo Adventures. Yeah, there you go. All right. Go on.
I was going to explain. I made a really ugly stink face a few minutes ago, and as in response to Dark Lurker's comment, I feel that they need the House of the Dead collection with connect. That part of that sentence is completely okay. And then he said, like Blue State had, or Blue Estate had. And that's when I made the face, because that's an awful game. Don't talk about that game.
We had a question from Fablemerk. He said, I recently blogged on how I was almost put off finishing Tomb Raider due to almost unnecessary violence. Have any of you guys been put off from playing or finishing a game due to similar reasons?
Nope.
I don't think I have. I guess not violence, but maybe like the obscurity of like clothing on girls in some games, like Dead or Alive. Like I have absolutely no interest in playing that game. I don't really care about a bunch of girls who are well endowed in bikinis, like string bikinis. Like it's just in that game, like it's just so weird that it's I don't know. That turns me off from playing that game. I never want to play it. If I'm going to play a fighter, I'm going to play Mortal Kombat or something, because of that and not because of half naked girls. Like, but not violence. I don't think unnecessary violence has ever turned me off from a game.
The only thing that can turn me off from a game is just like it being bad. The story's awful. Yeah. The character's voicing is horrible. Or horrible, like, controls. And in the case of Dead or Alive, it turned me off of that because you have to put in 30 different button combinations for one combo. That's not okay. So,
Josh said in the chat, I've been put off based by random rhythm games. He's referring to Danganronpa. He notorious on Facebook for saying that he hates Danganronpa because of the rhythm aspect of the game, which is the part I hated about it too. I was like, what the fuck? This game is not rhythm based, and all of a sudden you just add this in there.
Isn't it like about mystery solving?
Yeah, yeah. You find clues and stuff, and then you get to the like trial or whatever, where you're trying to figure out who actually was the killer or whatever, and it's all rhythm based.
And this is a murder mystery, right?
Yep. It's stupid the way they handle that. Like I know some people love it. I know some people like that idea. It felt so weird to me. I was like, nope, this is not for me.
I want the people who made Danganronpa to think about this. If you see someone investigating a murder and it's just a dude dancing and like stepping on the beat, you're obviously not going to think that murder's going to get solved. And if you see someone like a lawyer dancing and making beats in the court, that person's probably not going to win. They picked the two worst situations to have someone doing rhythm.
It's really weird. Well, it doesn't look like we have any more questions. So, I guess we're going to move on. Moving on to the game releases this week. On PlayStation 4, we've got Assassin's Creed Chronicles China, the first of the trilogy of Chronicles games, which I've heard is very okay.
Very okay.
Infinity Runner, LA Cops, Shovel Knight, which is a 3-way cross-buy game across Vita and PS3 and PS4, and then Ziggurat, which I have no idea what that is.
I know what a Ziggurat is.
Yeah, I know what a Ziggurat is, but not the game. On PlayStation 3, we've got Oddworld, Abe's Odyssey, New and Tasty, which is a 3-way cross-buy, and then Shovel Knight. And then on Vita, we've got, Sayonara, Yumihara Kawase Plus. Fuck yeah. I think I did it. And then Shovel Knight, which is, of course, 3-way cross-buy again.
Xbox One, you're looking at Assassin's Creed Chronicles China, and for Xbox 360, womp womp womp, you get nothing.
That was good. That was really good.
Thank you. You want to take
on Wii U, we've got Mario Kart 8 DLC Pack 2, which I believe comes with, is it this week or is it next week? The free update. I think the update comes with the DLC this week. Whatever. So soon you're going to be able to play 200cc, which I've heard is fantastic. So that's exciting. And then on 3DS, you've got Cube Creator 3D. Because
that's like the worst name. Make boxes!
A cube can only ever be 3D, first of all.
That's also true.
So, I just more and more I'm questioning the naming scheme of Nintendo games compared to PC, which used to be the most obscure of our lists.
And speaking of PC, first off, we're looking at Killing Floor 2. I don't know why I did that accent just
Killing
now.
Floor 2, sir.
We're also looking at Convoy, Highlands, Wild Frontera? A weird name. There we go. We Are Doomed, Environmental Station Alpha, Assassin's Creed Chronicles China, Crypt of the Necrodancer, which is getting really popular on Twitch right now.
Really?
Yes, it is.
Huh.
There's one of those, Twitch stream teams.
Yeah.
There's one whole team that's going to be playing Necrodancer for like 24 hours or something.
Really? Huh.
It might not be popular on Twitch. I watch that team, so I have just noticed that they're going to be doing it. Also, there's Hyped, which is HYPT. So there's that. Get hyped. Commander Cool 2. Wow. Never thought I'd hear that name again. Dungeons 2 and Dragon. A game about a dragon. Best title of the week right there.
Yeah, we should that be a thing? Should we decide that without Lou, where every week we're going to decide on the best title?
We should.
We should totally do that. That is now a segment. So this week's best title is Dragon.
Dragon. A game about a dragon.
That's perfect. Okay.
Congratulations.
So that wraps up episode 80 of the Middle of Nowhere Gaming Podcast. That means we have 20 fucking weeks until we're at 100. Can you believe that shit? That's crazy. I am really, I have a hard time believing it. When I think back 2 years ago when Mong was still in the planning stages, and it's just like, we're almost to 100 fucking episodes of this podcast. Like, how is it still limping along? If you missed,
happy I was here for it.
Yeah, well, me too. Thank you. If you missed the beginning, when we announced the winners to our giveaway for Shovel Knight, too bad, so sad. No, just kidding. Our winners were Michael Lee and Josh Pilgrim. They both will be receiving a PSN code for $20 on the PSN store, which they should use for Shovel Knight, but I guess they can use it for any game they want. But it's technically, we're giving it away for Shovel Knight. And then after this podcast, here within the next hour or so, we will be starting up another giveaway. This giveaway will run until next Tuesday, where we will announce it on next week's podcast. That giveaway will be for your choice. If you win, you will get the choice of Broken Age on PS4 or PC if you really want it on a PC. Or if you're an Xbot and you want, what is it? I always forget. State of Decay Year One Survival Edition. If you want that on Xbox One, that you could choose that instead. So if you win, you get your choice of game between those two games. So be sure and check that out. The following week after that, we will be giving away Wolfenstein: The Old Blood, which is the prequel for Wolfenstein: The New Order. And then 2 weeks after that, we'll be giving away The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. So check in every week for the next month because we have giveaways galore. We're happy to do it. We're glad people are enjoying games. We love giving away games. We record this podcast on Tuesdays. Tuesday afternoons, we start live on twitch.tv/MongPlays at 2:45 Central Standard Time. This week, that didn't happen. Like last week.
Issues.
Yeah, last week we were delayed by 2 days. This week we were delayed by 45 minutes. So we started at 3:30 this week, but typically we're going to try to start 2:45 every week. So be sure and check that out. If you don't check it out on Twitch, it goes live on every podcast hosting service. You can find the MONG Podcast there, or you can find it on YouTube. And then you could email us if you have any questions or topic suggestions or anything you want us to talk about or mention at contact.mong@gmail.com. We say that email address several times throughout every episode, so if you don't have it, go back and listen. It's there. It's everywhere, basically. You can find it. And then you can follow us on Twitter at mong.com. That's all spelled out, MONGDOTCOM. And then on YouTube, our podcast and news and review YouTube channel is Mong Network. So if you find Mong Network, that's where all of our podcasts are going to be. The News from Nowhere series, all of our video reviews, all of our trailers, everything goes there. And then if you just want to follow our other YouTube channel for our Let's Plays and our live streams and stuff, that is Middle of Nowhere Gaming Plays on YouTube. And that has all of our MLB games, all of our Bloodborne streams, stuff like that. Every chance we get, we try to upload them all there. And then on Facebook, Tumblr, and Instagram, all you got to do is search for Middle of Nowhere Gaming. You can find it all there. Most of you are already following us, but if you are not, and you know a friend who might be interested in gaming podcasts or gaming news or anything like that, or just our website in general, recommend it to them. It's very easy. All you got to do is say, hey, numbnuts, check this out. It's pretty awesome. We appreciate it. We appreciate sharing it with anybody. And also share the giveaways. That's true. We want everybody to get games, so
We want your views.
Of course, the website is middleofnowheregaming.com. That's where we call home. That is the place where you can find everything in one spot. You can find all the news, all the reviews, all the features, all the editorials, all the podcasts, all the videos, all of the pictures of Miles yawning. Everything is going to be at middleofnowheregaming.com. So go there, check that out every day. We try to get news up as quickly as we can. We've got a big team of writers, but everybody has jobs, so we do it as soon as we can. And then we're all on Twitter. If you're watching the video, you could see our Twitter handles right below our faces. I am at Osborne_2009. Miles is
Furious Milk.
And Lou is at Lou Cantaldi.
Lou Cantaldi.
Yeah. So thank you guys for joining us for episode 80. It's been great. We will see you again on episode 81 next week for another giveaway and another good podcast. Hopefully more news.
Si se puede.
Mog!
Keep it milky, folks.